Hey folks, welcome to the latest edition of our TEW series. You join us for our final Smackdown pay-per-view before Wrestlemania, No Way Out. It's one of those rare times where we have Smackdown before Raw, but Raw will have Fastlane next week, and then we crack on to WrestleMania. A few shout-outs before we just start into the video. I'm a wee bit under the weather. Horrible time at this moment in time, just in general around the world, so please everybody just stay safe, wash your hands, etc. Luckily to say no coughing or anything, just I think I've had about the flu. I did kind of feel it coming on, if I'm being honest. We've had pretty low temperatures here. But at the same time, in terms of self-isolation and that, I don't get much anyway, so it doesn't really change anything for me. Just means more video games and just kind of distancing myself. But nah, I hopefully should be fine. Hopefully everybody will be fine. As I say, stay safe and hopefully we all get through this together. Aside for that, I know it's a bit of an iffy subject and that, but as I say, we have to carry on, do what we're doing. We obviously have, as far as I'm aware, no delays on TEW2020 at the moment. Adam's not really changed anything. I'm assuming he works from home on it. I don't actually know if anybody can confirm that or not, but as I say, if there is any updates on it, any changes, any delays, I'll fire it up in the community tab, so if there's anybody that doesn't keep an eye on the Grey Dog Software forum or they want to get into the game kind of blinded rather than reading the whole developer's diary, I'll put that up in the community section in here. But if you want to keep an eye on what's coming in the new game, etc., and the alerts, check out the Grey Dog Software forums. As I say, it's the greatest source of, it's the official source of basically what's happening with the new game and its progress. Again, if you like your written stuff in there, there's a lot of good fantasy diaries on there, the mod stuff and all that, and just general, the home of the community effectively. Another good place to check out is the Fantasy Booker subreddit. You also get the same kind of stuff. You get a lot more content from YouTube on there as well. General questions and discussions. It's a good place, man. Nobody pays me or anything to do these plugs. These are sources I feel that can generally help the full community. We're a small community, and I just feel pointing these places out is the kind of best thing to do. And I've always found as well recently, if you're kind of looking for a database, you're maybe unsure where to go, you feel like you don't want to be trailing for about a million threads, check out TW Database on Twitter as well. They've got a website and it's basically got everything put together, so it's a lot more easier to navigate, and obviously every mod will have a description of what's involved, so maybe it's a better place to go to kind of look at and kind of see, maybe that kind of sells you on a mod rather than trawling through like 10 million bits of feedback for people. So again, check that out. As I say, I don't even know who runs it. I just thought, you know what, that's a good source. It's going to help people going forward. And as especially when a new game comes out, you want to get as many people involved in this as possible, because it's a small game and there's so many possibilities for saves for people. It really is a game that could thrive. So yeah, honestly, tell your friends the new game's out. I'm going to try and get a few people to buy it, but that is what it is. So here we are with No Way Out then. So the annoying thing is, obviously when you get by the Rumble, you kind of need to start planning for Mania. So a lot of my Mania card is planned out and written out, so this and Fastlane is just kind of making sure everything comes to place for that. So there'll be a few hints towards WrestleMania matches, but I'll explain everything as I go along. The difficult thing I have with this is when you do some face turns and heel turns, you can do them on television, which of course I only do the pay-per-views, so it's a wee bit more trickier to explain, but yeah, as I say, it's just one of those things with this particular one. Yeah, we'll crack on and I'll explain it as we go along. So we start off with usual hype video for our main event of the night, which is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between the champion Andrade Cien Almas, the Velveteen Dream, who gets his final opportunity, and Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, another one, injected into the match because of his great deeds from Shane McMahon, of course our horrible owner of the WWE in this save, and our user character, and because maybe Almas and Dream have already faced each other a few times before. But nah, I've just felt like it was a good way to kind of get Corbin in for cheap heat as well. And yeah, looking forward to it. B plus 86 is okay. Some of the main events have been done on Smackdown have just not drawn, but the co-mains have, which has been weird. But it is what it is. The show's off to a strong start. The crowd's hotter and the storyline advances. I will say the roster's getting smaller and smaller by the week because of so many years of neglect. The amount of people requesting releases and getting accepted are people that have been jobbing out effectively. So, as I've said previously, a lot of the flaws I've had over the course of the save are really beginning to bite me in the backside as we end it here. So, something I need to learn from going into the new game, and hopefully I can do that. So we start off with an over-the-top entrance from the Usos, you know, getting the crowd hyped in that. I was kind of hoping with their overness they would have drawn a bit higher than a C64, but they're in here competing for the Tag Team Championships. And their match against the Young Bucks was decent, but it was the Young Bucks who defeated the Usos in 1746 when Matt Jackson defeated Jey Uso with a moonsault. This was the second defence of the WWE Tag titles for our heel tag champions. Great chemistry, of course, by the Usos, as you would expect. Probably the worst performance there by the Young Bucks, but the crowd got hotter from it. Jim Uso improves technical skills. Can see there negatives, a few people with low morale, poor gimmicks. Matt Jackson's declining physical ability and the booking decision as well, because to keep the Usos strong, I think it was Jay that get protected. They were obviously so over because of the solo runs they had, but we need to fill out our tag division. Next up, we've got Becky Lynch and Bayley, who are kind of watching each other's back. Becky's obviously been up against it because of Shane McMahon, and she's relied on an old friend here to help her in this upcoming match. That is an A90, because Becky is over as. And that matchup, which was a very bizarre matchup, the team of Becky Lynch and Bayley took on Shane McMahon and Kairi Sane. It was a decent matchup that saw Becky and Bayley defeat Shane and Kairi Sane in 10:32 when Becky defeated Shane with the hard knocks. Becky obviously head and shoulders above everyone else. She's been overbooked like in this save like nothing else, because she is one of the best in my opinion. But B81, 88 for her, 73 for Bayley and Kairi. It's weird, she's been doing well in solo matches, but here not so much with Shane, just a 61. But a B81's reflective here is pretty decent. And the good thing is, that'll be the end of Becky and Shane. Becky's got good plans for Mania, which I'll see if I can elaborate on stuff after the video. I just need to hope I've got my folder next to me, which has my booking details in it. Probably not. Next up, we had the Cruiserweight Championship in the line. It was a decent matchup that saw the villain Marty Scurll defeat Ricochet in 13:31 after using a foreign object. Simple matchup here to put on the Cruiserweight Championship. Third title defence for Marty, B77, a 78 for him, and a 77 for him, sorry, and a 78 for Ricochet. But a simple match keeps the villain strong going in to WrestleMania. Next up, a hype video for Will Ospreay versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is pissed that Will Ospreay is your United States champion, and he's going to do anything he can to reclaim his championship. And he means anything. That was a B-75. Match itself was actually pretty decent. Ospreay defeats Kevin Owens in 18:06 with a 6:30 splash, making it his second defence of the championship, B+86. Again, just putting him over. KO's got other stuff planned for WrestleMania, but just really, as I say, giving other people an opportunity that really have neglected that should have the opportunities. So good for Ospreay there. I've just kept him with Heyman because there's like a month left of the save. And yeah, try to get his morale a wee bit higher. Next up, we have Kevin Owens walking backstage, pissed at his defeat, while Daniel Bryan is heading out for his matchup coming up next, and they get a bit heated, they get a bit frustrated, a bit angry at each other. Could this bleed into something at WrestleMania, possibly? Who knows, but a B+87 there for this little confrontation between KO and Daniel Bryan. Next up was a Fatal 4-Way match. The winner will get a chance at the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. So big stakes here between Daniel Bryan, Johnny Gargano, Fergal Devitt and Switchblade. And it was a good wrestling match with decent heat. And it was Devitt who took the victory over Bryan, Gargano and Switchblade in 22:50 when Devitt defeated Gargano while using the ropes for leverage. So B+85. The reason I went with Devitt, he was over basically. He wasn't doing a lot. He didn't have physical decline, which I thought he had, and yeah, he was just over. So he will be in one of those main matches at WrestleMania. Switchblade's improving Rumble skills, just a lack of hot associated storylines. So if that feud between Gargano and Devitt was over a bit more, you could have probably saw that into the 90s, which would have been quite mad. Next up, we have Ruby Riott, upcoming matchup with Sasha Banks. This feud will never end. It's an A90 here. They've honestly been at it like nothing else. It's just constantly going and going and going. They fought that much that I kind of had to put Laurel Van Ness in as well to give her an opportunity. But in about, they had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Ruby defends her championship against Laurel and Sasha Banks. That's how long the mod's been and how long I've had her, that she's still Laurel Van Ness in this. But Ruby defeats Laurel Van Ness with the Heidi Ho making her 5th defence of the Women's Championship. The B plus 84, a pretty solid co-main event. You can see there that Ruby and Sasha are at quite an elite level. Laurel Van Ness is getting there. I suppose with a singles feud she'd get there. She still is our Women's Shine Tag Team Champion alongside Diona Peruzzo, and the storyline did lose a little bit of heat here. Now I will give one spoiler for WrestleMania. It will be the Women's Championship on the line, and it will be in triple threat action. Ruby Riott will defend that belt against Sasha Banks, because the two of them together is just chemistry, and Becky Lynch. I think that's just, you've got to, your 3 most over females on that roster, you've got to go with it. So the SmackDown Women's Championship match is going to be good, and there's some good stuff coming from the Raw side, but we'll get to that near the time. Velveteen Dream cuts a promo how this is his moment. He's going to reclaim the championship. It's an A90. Masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd, and just generally giving the show a bit of a boost there. Match was okay actually, that's better than I anticipated. I was worried, I was scared if you're not Scottish. But about the had good wrestling and a decent reaction from our crowd. Andrade Cien Almas defeated Baron Corbin and Velveteen Dream in 22-24, when Andrade Cien Almas defeated Baron Corbin by pinfall with a split-legged corkscrew senton. It's his 3rd defence of the World Heavyweight Championship, an 85 for him and Dream. So they've kind of lost a bit over this for this feud, which is a bit annoying. But then ring performance for Corbin was an 86, so he's been jobbing out like hell. He's put Becky Lynch over, and he's still pulling an 86, so he's still over. So he's done a fantastic job. And yeah, it means that going into WrestleMania, Andrade will be your champion. And we finish the show with Andrade celebrating the win and getting a beat down by Fergal Devitt, who hoists the WWE World Heavyweight Championship above his head and stare downs his fallen champion. So there you go, another WrestleMania match in there. Andrade Cien Almas against Fergal Devitt. Of course, known as Fergal Devitt because it was Finn Balor. He had racial comments in this save. We had to release him, and once that all came to pass after 3 years, we brought him back and just put him as Fergal Devitt to have no connections to that other name that he had within the WWE. So just under 60,000 and 89 shows, pretty decent. As I say, it was a wee bit put together at the last minute because of one, he'd been all over the place because of what's happened in the last week, and yeah, just generally make sure we're in a good position for WrestleMania. So next week's episode is going to be, I'm going to make a speech actually, I don't really care, yep, that's fine. It will be Fastlane, that'll be Raw's last event before WrestleMania. And then, yeah, we don't even know at this moment in time. I'm recording this by the 15th of March, so we have no decision at the moment on WrestleMania. But the video for WrestleMania should go live the day that Mania should go live, but I think that might be highly likely being cancelled, so we'll see what happens. But that's just your kind of schedule going forward. We are losing AJ Styles. He has massive physical decline, so he's went to New Japan. Wasn't particularly too over, massive physical decline, so wasn't willing to pay, even though I'm finishing the save in a month's time, so he's gone. I need to make sure I keep the Fiend, Wyndham Rotunda, for another bit of time, so they're offering 53,000 for 5 years, that's fine. I'll just offer them, I could offer them whatever, because I say I'm playing the save for another 6 weeks in game, and then that's it, we're done, we're over. There is another one that's possible even, but we should be fine keeping them. Gargano's unhappy with another loss. 47.98 on the WWE Network. 4,000 testing, and Ospreay doesn't like Nick Jackson. Now we're going to worry about Lance Storm again. 6 weeks left the booking. And then we'll move on to TEW2020. So to give you an idea of what's left, that's a horrible amount of morale issues that I kind of need to sort when we get to the new game. Fastlane next week, and then WrestleMania the 4th week of March, and then that will conclude us. We'll move on from there for the small wait to TEW2020. So if there is a break, it'll be getting ideas and just really doing other stuff while I wait for the new game. But if you haven't heard, the series will be on here. 2 different things. We'll have AEW in the similar format to what Impact was, and was Impact this year? I can't remember. But we're doing like full-on episodes because like TW will be the premier game, so the time will be there. So we'll be predominantly playing that, we'll be typing out angles, etc. That'll be a series we call Freshly Squeezed. Moment in time, our plan is if mods carry over, pretty okay, and I'm sure this one should. I really want to do an 80s one. So I'm going to look at maybe the one from 1985. I can't remember off the top of my head who made it. It might be Mammoth, it might be Janedi or however it's pronounced, but that'll be the aim, because obviously if Indian that's in the save, well, was there really Indian wrestling back then that we knew about? I don't particularly know, but I've been watching a lot of the season 1 of the Dark Side of the Ring, and that's really got me wanting to do 80s wrestling, so that'll be a case of I'll be playing that off stream just to try and get through year after year. So I want to save it takes like 15 years, 16 years, no bother. And I'll post up the pay-per-views, so that's hopefully something. And if all goes to plan with conversion of mods, I'm just going to book WWE on stream, because obviously there's a lot of wrestlers I haven't used before in TEW because they weren't quite prominent 4 years ago, because the wrestling industry can change a lot in 4 years. So that's the schedule going forward. There's next week Fastlane, week after that Wrestlemania, and we'll have a wee video after that just documenting the title changes, etc., the lineage of stuff since we started this save just after WrestleMania 32, because we've done 7 WrestleManias, which is quite mad when you think about it. So cheers for watching, much appreciated. If you enjoyed that, a wee thumbs up would be appreciated. If you haven't subbed, just hit the sub button just to ensure these videos drop into your inbox when they do go live. I'm not too sure on the schedule for the new game, so that'll probably be if and when, but as I say, if you're subbing, it just means stuff drops into your subscription box. It's so much easier. When I'm subbing to people, stuff pops up and it just makes it ideal for me, so definitely do that if you can. Apart from that, check out the sources I stated at the start, and as I say, any more news on the new game will pop up in the community tab. But most importantly, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you for next week's episode. Cheers, bye.